In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this through impact, keeping the right arm bent, moving through the golf ball. So if you're someone who stalls out rotation, chucks the right arm in, it straightens, you hit poor shots because of it, this is the video for you. So I'm Jonathan Chan with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So one of the best signs that you have moved through the golf ball very well is having that right arm bent at impact. It shows you've had general good dynamic movement of the body. You've had good side bend, you've had good rotation that create that movement. That's why we see so many players on tour from past or present do this, but it's far more complicated than just trying to get this right arm bent at impact. We need to move our body in a specific way and do certain things in the golf swing to be able to do it. So let's talk about those and how you can get it into your swing. So let's talk about two things that you need to do in your golf swing to be able to have this right arm being bent at impact. And we'll talk about a great drill to do after that, which will get you doing this. So the first thing we do is actually two things in one, but they happen at the exact same time here. That is rotation with right side bending or trail side bend going through impact. So you can see if I'm turning through the golf ball with nice right side bend, my right arm has to be bent at impact to be able to hit the golf ball. So of course, rotation is going to help you stabilize that club face. It's going to help you with good speed at the bottom of your swing as well, not dumping out your speed. And two, that right side bend is going to keep you in your posture, keep you hitting that golf ball. Because if you didn't have that right side bend, you just had the rotation, your path is going to get a little bit on the outside. Your body is going to really turn up just a little bit here. It's going to move up, come out of posture. Just going to force the right arm to straighten. Very important to have the right side bend in there as well. But if you just had that right side bend without rotation, you're going to get incredibly stuck in there. You might have a bent right arm, but you're going to be hitting way out to the right here. And almost have a ball fly back at you, just like it did for me then. So we need both those movement patterns. Ball's on the ground, we rotate through the golf ball. That's going to create right side bend. It's the first one. The second of what we need this right arm to behave in the golf swing prior to that. Because what I see a lot of players do, they'll have their right arm behind their seam line, so seam line of my top here, as they are coming down the downswing. Now let's say you've got good rotation, let's say you've got good side bend as well, but if your right arm and your elbow is stuck behind your seam line, so ultimately behind your pivot, as you start to come down the downswing from there, if you keep the right arm bent, you're going to be swinging way on the inside of the ball line here. So you could toe shank it, you could hit a shot in the driving range where you hit it straight at the guy in front of you in the bay, which will not be winning you any friends. So, right arm behind you, you're going to have to then straighten out, going through the golf ball, wasting all that good work you've just done going into the downswing. So we need this, the right arm, to be in front of that seam line, going through the golf ball there. We need it being in front of that seam line because then we can keep that right arm bent. We don't have to boosh straight out just to hit the golf ball. So rotation, side bend. We also need right arm being in front of us. So from here, if you're someone who struggles with rotation, there'll be a reason why for it. I have a guide to rotation in the downswing. So if you haven't already picked that up, I'll put a link down in the description for you to pick up. It's on an app called SKILLEST, which I do all my online lessons on. Also, if you want an online lesson, you can get it through there. So rotation is a big topic. You've always got to figure out why you're not rotating, and then it will be way easier rotating, getting that right arm bent through the golf ball. So a drill to do for this, to get these nice movements in our golf swing. I'm not just going to give you one drill. I'm not just going to give you two. I'm going to give you 3 drills. Pretty cool, right? So I'm going to give you a drill here to get the right arm in good structure. So it's staying in front of your seam line. I'd recommend you to do this at home, and you can clearly see how it keeps your right arm bent at impact. And I'm going to give you 2 optional other drills here to do that will give you pretty much where we want to be as you're hitting the golf ball, getting that right arm bent. So one to do for the right arm at home, it's called the Nunchuck Drill because you're holding the club like a nunchuck. So what we do here, we grab the club head, flip it so it is on the right hand side of our right arm, of course, for a right-handed golfer. Then what do we do from here? We turn up to top, we grab it with our left hand. So then what we do, we can see it's already in front of my seam line now. So this is preventing me from going too much behind me. And now I can turn in my downswing whilst pulling this grip in front of me here. So that is going to get me to where my technical term, right shoulder moving into external rotation, which is ultimately just meaning this right elbow is going more in front of my body, which you can see if you go down to where an impact position would be. Where am I now? Boom, bent right arm. So it keeps that arm moving in front of your seam line. Really good movement. It's a great one for someone who struggles to shallow the golf club as well. Nunchuck drill, awesome. Lots of reps at home. You're going to feel a huge stretch in your shoulder capsule doing this massively here. But that's a good sign if that's happening, because that tells you that you've got some shoulder flexibility issues. That could be a reason why you're not doing this. So that's our drill number one. Nice and simple. Nunchuck drill. Cool name. So second one is my favorite drill. Favorite drill of all time. So it's been a while since I've had it in a video, so we're getting it again. It's called the preset rotation drill. What we do, we get into an impact position and we stop at that impact position. That's how we're setting up to the golf ball. So hips are open. I'm opening them up as much as I can. My chest is open as much as it can, which is generally going to be less than my hips. Now I've got my weight 90% on my left side, and I've now dropped my right shoulder down a little bit to my right hip here. That's giving me that side bend. You can see what's happening as a byproduct. My right arm is nice and bent. So from this angle, here we are. Looks pretty decent. Rotation as much as I can, rotation as much as I can, which will generally be less than the lower body. Weight 90%, right shoulder down, which is going to make sure that that right arm is nice and bent. So I'm not back here behind the golf ball. My head is still on top of it, body's in front. Then what we do, we keep that structure, we swing back, and we swing through. That's how we do it. So we're not doing this, which I see so many people doing, and it infuriates me. I see a lot of people do this. They get into a great preset, and they go, just swing it with their arms. Don't do that, it makes me angry. So don't just flail at it with your arms. Nice preset, and then we spring back, spring through, start off half. Once you've mastered it with a half swing, build it up. Let's have a look at how good that right arm movement is doing this now. Boom. It's pretty good. So, preset rotation drill, great for doing it. So the next drill here, this specifically trains the right arm movement going through the golf ball. So, and this is called the Tommy Fleetwood drill. It's also called the bent right arm drill. It's also called the no throw drill, the drill with 3 names. So what we essentially do here, we just focus purely on that right arm. So we're just having a little shot here, half swing again, but I want this right arm to stay bent all the way to my finish. That's the key thought here. Right arm bent to the finish. Now when that right arm bent stays through to the finish there, we can guarantee to some extent that it's going to be bent at impact. Because you can imagine, if you're finishing and you're finishing this kind of Tommy Fleetwood position, which is, you know, one of the names, if my right arm's bent still there, it's going to be very difficult for it to be straight and then rebend back. It's going to feel quite funny if you do that. So it's going to keep it bent all the way through the golf ball. So very self-explanatory here. Keep it bent all the way through to your finish. Start off with a half swing first, of course. There we go. Still bent. So can't guarantee that you'd hit it like Tommy Fleetwood afterwards, but you'll still hit it pretty good. So again, right arm bent all the way through. Very nice. You will be able to feel more rotation. You'll be able to feel more side bend doing that. Really make that intent very, very strong. Don't just try and, you know, half-heartedly do it. Really put your full intent into it. Doesn't mean swinging hard when you do it. Just really as much as you can out of, you know, a scale of 1 to 10 in the amount of focus you put in it, be a 12. Really, really focus hard. A lot of golfers are always like half because they're just half trusting what they're doing. You can't try things, you've got to go full into doing them. You're not going to be able to make a change just trying to do a movement here. So that's it, guys. That's it. So got to have the right arm in front of your seam line. If it's behind you, boom, it's going in front of you. You can see with those 2 drills, your right arm's going to be in front of your seam line, of course, in front of your pivot. So that's one element. We need the other one. Like we said, it's 2 things, but essentially it's 1, rotation and side bend going through impact there. That's what we need to do to create that good right side bend. So If you like this video, guys, of course, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this video here, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So if you do these, you're gonna have that right arm more bent, you're gonna hit the ball pretty pure.